Hello, students. My name is Neela Ginger Hoffman. I'm a cultural anthropologist, and I teach in the anthropology department at DePaul University. I'm also the director of community service studies, and I am very excited to be offering the Study Abroad to India program, and I hope that you will join me.
All right, thank you, Professor Hoffman. Professor Arnold, would you please introduce yourself as well?
Hi, everyone. My name is Randall Hunold. I'm an assistant dean in the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, and I also teach for the Philosophy and Environmental Studies departments. And I'm really excited about the possibility of this trip this year. It will be, I think, the 6th time that I've collaborated with a faculty member and taken students to India during November, December. And we have a terrific group of partners over there who can show us a set of amazing experiences, and I hope you'll be able to join us.
Great, thank you so much. So I'm going to begin with our question and answer session. So if you could both please give us an overview of the program.
Okay, so our program, India's Identities, has a course that's offered in the fall and a course offered in the winter. And I'd like to think of these courses as the bookends of our program. And in between the two, we will travel as a group to India, and we will be there for 18 days. So the course in the fall is ANT 102, Introduction to Cultural Anthropology. And the way that I teach it, I have it geared towards engaging with India in terms of its identities, which means, you know, looking at class, caste, race, gender, and also looking at the political economy and how that has brought about various changes in the expressions of identities. And I'll let Professor Hunold tell you about his course in the winter quarter.
The winter quarter class is called A Philosophy in Modern Society, and it is designed to be a follow-up to the trip. And it's also, as Professor Hoffman said, kind of the other bookend to the course that she's teaching in the fall. And we'll find ourselves in an interesting position coming back, where things will look almost as strange to us when we return as they did when we arrived in India. And part of what we'll do in our class is to try to process that a little bit, to kind of figure out what the trip meant for us and how to put it within a conceptual framework of modernity. So what does it mean to be part of a modern world, to be part of a modern country, whether that's the United States or India? And what are the features of being modern? And my particular interest that we're going to explore on the trip and also in the course to follow up is how India is dealing with its natural environment. Really, it's a place where water and other kinds of resources are being stressed, and we'll get a chance to talk with experts there about how the country as a whole and how localities are dealing with these kinds of stresses that are part of what it means to be modern.
Great, thank you so much. Next question, can you guys talk about some of the highlights of the program? This can be activities, cultural experience, any special visits or speakers that you guys will be engaging with on the program?
Okay, so part of what we feel makes our program special is that we visit with a university in Pune, India, Symbiosis International University, where we have a relationship with the faculty, and we get to interact not only with the faculty but also with students. So this provides a really good interaction for our DePaul students to have sort of face-to-face contact with Indian students. And so this is important because a lot of times on study abroad trips, students only get to interact with people that are managing NGOs or shopkeepers or that are in some sort of professional capacity, and not so much with their peers, just ordinary students. And so in order to set that up, what we usually do is have a conversation online with those students, in fact, prior to leaving on our trip. And then on the book end, on the other end of it, have a conversation as well. So that is one of the highlights that I think is really important part of our program that differentiates our program from many others. We also visit some amazing sites. I'll let Dr. Hanel tell you a little bit more about it, but one of the sites that's really close to my heart are the Ayanta and Ellora caves that feature 6th century Buddhist art, and they're considered a world heritage, and they're absolutely, you know, stunning. You know, obviously we also visit the Taj Mahal. Can't go to India without visiting the Taj Mahal.
I was going to also mention the Taj Mahal and how it seems like on one hand, it's kind of a cliche to identify India with that. But on the other hand, it's an amazing, amazing place. And we definitely kind of see that as a centerpiece of what we'll be doing. It's also in a city of Agra, which has a very rich history of artisan craft production. And so we'll get a chance to meet people who are creating the kinds of objects that were created centuries ago for the Taj Mahal. We'll also, as we move around the country from Delhi to Agra to Jaipur to Pune to Mumbai, we will meet with experts on all kinds of social, religious, environmental issues in each one of those cities who are going to be able to give us the local perspective and also allow us to think about the Indian and the global scale for some of these issues.
Thank you both for that. Could you both share what you are most excited about in leading this program?
One of the things that really excites me about this program is that, you know, a lot of students get an aha moment, sort of the little light bulb that comes up, you know, when you're watching a cartoon. The surprise, the visceral experience of India, its sounds, its smells, its feeling, its, you know, nothing leaves you neutral in India. So it is a really vibrant place, a very exciting program, a place that, you know, you discover parts of yourself that you did not think about before.
I want to echo Dr. Hoffman and say that for me, the most exciting part of these trips is to watch the faces of the students. As we are in these places, as we're talking to these people, as we're having these experiences together. And the opportunity for us to, at the end of the day, to sit back as a group that has been traveling together and doing everything together for days at a time, to sit back and reflect as a group, to learn together, to learn from each other, to be honest with each other about what our thoughts and feelings and impressions were of what we had just experienced. That kind of daily decompression and processing is really an important part of the trip. And it's something that I find to be just as valuable as the experiences themselves.
Thank you. Can you also share why do you think students should choose this particular program to participate on?
So this program, you know, if you're the kind of student who doesn't like crowded places, who may be turned off by environmental pollutant, pollutants, who is a little bit uncomfortable traveling in cities where, you know, the cars and the bicyclists share the road with elephants and with donkeys and horses, where, you know, monkeys are seen, you know, in people's gardens and things like that. If those things do not seem appealing to you, right, this is probably not the trip for you. So one of the things that's really exciting about this trip and a really important lesson is sort of this exploration of these mega cities with all its wonder, but also with its problems, and particularly environmental problems. And it's sort of the direction that the rest of the world, the rest of big cities, including Chicago, is heading to. So we can get a bird's eye view of the future of, you know, where we are living and operating, precisely by going to India, and learn the lessons from what is good and what could be done better. So I think that that's a really important lesson. Also sort of the, what do we get by on every day? You know, here we're talking about a population of 1.3 billion people, of which 2/3 lives in abject poverty. That means that they're living on less than $1 a day. So how do people make do with that? What does that mean? You know, and what does that mean for us when we're visiting, and again, getting that bird's eye view, that little piece of experience, but then going back to our very comfortable, consumer saturated lives, right? What does that leave us with? Some questions, some existential questions. And so.
Yeah, that was really well said, Dr. Hoffman. And I would just like to add that, you know, India is typically not a place where young people go on a backpack trip to spend a month just hanging around and traveling around. It's not like Europe. It's not like perhaps Australia or New Zealand. It's not one of those places where people automatically feel comfortable to travel by themselves or with a friend, say, after they graduate from college. So this is an opportunity to visit a place that is unique, special, really important in the world today, but a place where very few people travel on their own or with a friend. And so doing it in a relatively small group with a very kind of strict agenda where we're all doing things together is actually kind of liberating and allows people to experience it with a sense of comfort and security that might not be available at any other time in your life.
Great. Thank you both so much for sharing. If you guys have any sort of final thoughts you want to share with interested students before we end our recording for today.
Yeah, I wanted to echo the last comment made by Professor Honnold, that indeed, you know, traveling with a group allows students to experience, you know, the locality, the place where we are, without having to worry about schedules, about, you know, where to eat and what to eat next, hotels, all of that is taken care of. Right, and your safety and our safety is very important to us. So especially in these difficult times, but always we have put safety first in terms of our programming.
I think for me, the most interesting and memorable thing that a student told me when she got back from this trip a number of years ago was that she felt like now she could travel anywhere and to be able to manage it. And I think that the experience of spending a couple of weeks in India gives everyone a confidence about their ability to navigate and negotiate difference and place and things that are unfamiliar, and to make them seem manageable and understandable.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing this wonderful information about the India's Identities program. And we hope that many of you will sign up to participate on this program. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Professors Honnold and Hoffman. Their email information will be available on the website. Thank you so much.